At 16, my parents blamed me for my brother's arrest, called me a bad influence, and exiled me to relatives 6 hours away without a phone. 13 years later, they walked into my law office begging me to defend him. They had no idea I was the attorney they tried to bury. When I was 16, my brother Jackson got caught breaking into our high school with his delinquent friends, spray paint still in his hand when police found him. My parents sat me down the next morning and said it was my fault. I'd created a negative environment by criticizing his friends. I'd been a bad role model by working too much. My complaints had pushed him to act out. The mental gymnastics were Olympic level impressive. Jackson sat there silent, didn't defend me once. Their solution: send me to live with my aunt in Pennsylvania. No phone, no contact with friends, no social media, no explanation to anyone back home. Jackson got house arrest and sympathy. I got exile. The 6-hour drive to Aunt Julie's house, my dad didn't say a word. When we arrived, he handed her my school records and told me to think about what you've done. I was 16 years old, punished for something I'd actively tried to prevent. The first weeks were brutal. No phone meant complete isolation. I couldn't call friends, couldn't explain why I'd disappeared. My aunt monitored my internet. My parents didn't want me spreading my version of events. In 2012, not having social media made you an alien. But here's the thing about being that isolated. It gives you time to think, a lot of time. And I got angry. Not the explosive kind, but the cold, calculated kind that makes you focused. I threw myself into school with obsessive intensity. Honor roll every semester. Debate team. Library volunteer. If they wanted to throw me away, fine. I'd succeed in spite of them. My aunt would call my parents weekly. He's doing well. Honor roll again. No, he hasn't asked about coming home. I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to return to a house where I was blamed for everything and appreciated for nothing. I applied to colleges without telling them. Got accepted with partial scholarship. When my mom finally called after nearly 2 years, she said, "We're so proud." I almost laughed. I went to college, then law school. Worked 2 jobs the entire time. Graduated top 10% of my class. Passed the bar on my first try. I built a career defending juveniles accused of crimes. Kids who'd made mistakes but deserved someone in their corner. The irony wasn't lost on me. 13 years after they sent me away, I was in my office when my secretary said I had a walk-in consultation. Janet and David Stevens. My parents' names. But Stevens is common, so I didn't think anything of it. Then my office door opened. My mother gasped. My dad's mouth fell open. They'd been searching for a defense attorney for weeks. Someone recommended our firm. They made the appointment, never suspecting their throwaway son was now the lawyer they desperately needed. "Mr. and Mrs. Stevens," I said calmly. "Please have a seat." They stumbled into chairs like they'd forgotten how legs worked. "It's Jackson," my dad finally said. "He's been arrested. Embezzlement. $45,000 over 2 years. They have evidence. Bank records. Forged invoices. We need someone who'll actually fight for him." I took notes. Professional. Detached. "I specialize in juvenile defense. Your son is 29. That's outside my area of practice. However, I can refer you to excellent attorneys who handle white-collar crimes." My mother's voice cracked. "Daniel, we're so sorry. We had no idea you'd become an attorney. We're so proud." 13 years of silence. And now, when they needed something, suddenly they were proud. "With all due respect, Mrs. Stevens," I said, "you've had 13 years to be proud. You had 13 years to apologize. You chose not to." "We made mistakes," she whispered. "But he's still your brother." I slid the referral list across my desk. "These attorneys will serve him well. I genuinely hope Jackson gets a good outcome. But I'm not that attorney, and I'm not going to pretend we're family after 13 years of treating me like I didn't exist." My dad looked desperate. "We thought you needed space." "No," I said firmly. "You blamed me for Jackson's mistakes because it was easier than holding your golden child accountable. And now that he's in trouble again, you show up asking for help." As they reached the door, my mom turned back. "For what it's worth, we really are proud of you." "I accomplished it without you," I replied. "That's the part you need to understand." They left without another word. I'm not the kid they threw away. I'm the man they'll never get to know.